Hey, welcome to Future CFO podcast, where we dive deep into the world of finance, business, and career management. I am your host, Ibrahim Saune, and today we have a very special guest, a HR professional who will provide us an invaluable perspective on how finance professionals can manage their career. Joining us is Baboucar Badjan, the current head of human resources at Ecobank Gambia Limited. In this episode, we will explore what skill a HR professional considers essential for finance roles, how learning and development can be powerful tools for career advancement, and the critical role of visibility and personal branding in career management. If there is one key takeaway from today's discussion, is that learning and development is a cornerstone of a successful career growth. So stay with us as we delve into these insightful topics with our esteemed guest. Welcome, Mr. Badjan, to FutureCFO.info podcast. Future CFO is a platform that has been developed by a number of young Gambian finance professionals. The objective is to create a learning platform where young and the experienced can share their knowledge, practical knowledge. And talking about the importance of developing finance talent, we thought we should have you as a guest on this podcast to discuss HR point of view in developing a successful finance career. But before we go into the discussion, it will be important that we introduce you to our audience, the viewers and the listeners. Some of them, this may be the first time they are seeing you on a screen or hearing your voice. So who is Mr. Baboucar Badjan?
Thank you so much for having me, Ibrahima. It's a privilege to be here, sharing my journey and experiences, and hopefully inspiring many of your audience. Hi, everyone. I am Baboucar Badjan, and I have had the honor of leading human resources at two leading banks in the Gambia with over 14 years of experience in HR. I've had the pleasure of leading and developing diverse teams, and here I am to share some of the journey with you. I started my HR career at the National Water and Electricity Company. I did 7 years there, then move on to Standard Chartered, join as performance rewards and benefits specialist. Spent 2 years and got the opportunity to lead the HR strategy in the Gambia as head of HR, and went through a very strategic transformation project from 2018 to 2024. And I recently joined Ecobank Gambia as head of HR, and quite excited to be here, to be part of a better Africa and a better way. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Badjan. That is really exciting and what I may call a successful journey, because it's not an event. You are still growing into this profession. But before we even go to finance, considering that you work in a number of institutions in a significant roles like head of HR in a major international bank like Standard Chartered, now working to a Pan-African giant like Ecobank, maybe briefly, what prepared you towards this journey?
Quite excited for this question, and it's just bringing out emotions, goosebumps, and all, just narrating my journey to where I am today. My journey to becoming a HR professional is a story of resilience and passion. It all started with a childhood dream of working in a bank. And I remember accompanying my late mom to receive my school fees remittances, and being so fascinated by the professionalism of the staff at Standard Chartered at the time. After high school and earning my first degree, I applied for a job, but didn't even get a response, even an acknowledgement. I did not. But however, I didn't give up. 11 years after my BA, And with 6 years of HR experience, I saw a vacancy that matched my skills and experience. And like they say, the rest is history. There have been many defining moments along the way that prepared me to where I am today. One notable experience, and I'm very proud of that, was talent development project in my early HR years at NAWEC, where we strategically supported over 50 employees to earn their first degrees, ACTAs, masters in electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, and even MBAs. And today, many of those people hold key positions still at NAWEC and others around the world. And despite these challenges, some of the challenges that we encountered, our team's dedication at the time and strategic planning made some of these things possible at the time. Another key experience along my journey that prepared me well for where I am was managing and leading a transformation project, which taught me the importance of empathy and clear communication. These roles combined with me earning my CIPD fellowship. CIPD is the Chartered Institute of Personnel Development, United Kingdom, and it's the globally recognition for HR. Earning this have equipped me to lead HR at two prestigious banks in the Gambia, and also give me speaking opportunities at their annual conferences, and also what I'm having with you today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Badjan. I think for the benefit of those who don't know CIPD, but if you know accounting, CIPD is like the ACCA equivalent. ACCA is for accountant, CIPD is for the HR professional. And we'll talk a bit about that because he's one of the most active professionals in that profession. Now, talking about finance, I know in recruitment, in onboarding, one of the key places or functions that get involved in any organization is human resources. And if we want to talk about finance, talent development, which you have done, we cannot go without asking the human resources view. And my question is, based on your experience, based on what you see today and your participations in multiple events, what are some of those skills you believe are critical for those who want to enter into finance and grow in there?
Thank you, Ibrahim. And I think finance, especially in the region that we are in, it's one of the, I'll say, most difficult areas to recruit for. But one thing that I've experienced is that when hiring finance professionals, you have to look for a blend of technical expertise and interpersonal skills. And I recall a time when we were hiring a finance position, we had final candidates, some of them with impeccable technical skills and job experience, and another with slightly less experience, but exceptional communication skills, willingness to learn, and have team-working abilities. And what we did was we chose the latter, and it turned out to be one of the best decisions that I've made in hiring, or that we've made in hiring. We choose the latter, and this individual not only excelled in his role, but also became a bridge in enhancing collaboration and productivity within key finance stakeholders. And this taught us that while technical skills are quite vital, the ability to work well with others and communicate effectively can be even more impactful. And it just reminded me of Warren Buffett's wisdom, where he said that in looking for people to hire, you look for three qualities. One is integrity, two is intelligence, and three, energy. And if they don't have the first, which is integrity, the other two will kill you. And I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, very, very well said. And I think in summarizing there, you talked about the importance of us finance professionals having those technical skills, which is mostly what they taught us at the school, from accounting, financial statement, Excel, and all the rest. But fundamentally, we also need to have the people skills, which you call interpersonal skills. People skills are very, very key. The ability to communicate, and you bring with the comment or the quote from Warren Buffett, things like ethics, integrity. Without having that, it can kill any organization. And I think this is very essential. But moving on, one of my own observation is today, HR leaders, business leaders, everybody is thinking about how do we reskill our employees, because there is a major shift towards the use of technology, and more especially in finance. We know technologies like ChatGPT and other AI tools are today doing jobs which we used to do manually. My question to you is, in this age of technology development, especially with generative AI, what are some of those strategies you believe finance professionals, being experienced or those in the school, can adopt for them to be able to develop themselves and join the changing wagons that is happening in the industry? Because if you don't have the right skills or knowledge, either you won't get a job or your growth will continue to be stagnant.
Good question. And in today's tech-driven world, staying ahead means embracing continuous learning and adaptation. 2 days ago, I was going to our learning portal, learning platform, where there's been different kinds of learning. And I'm quite an advocate for using these platforms and using ChatGPT as well. And was doing an exercise on Excel and realized that I have the date of birth. Now I want to know the age of the individual. I did not just calculate it using, 1978 to date is 46, 47 years, but I used a formula. And how did I get that formula? Went to ChatGPT and asked that this is what I want to do. Please help me. And I got the formula and I did it. And I was so proud of myself that now I've learned skills. And that's just one example. And an example of my friend, because we talk a lot on these technological developments. And he she worked in a traditional finance role and saw the rise of fintech and decided to dive into blockchain and data analytics. And these were done through online courses, seminars, and tech meetups. And she upskilled herself, very proud of her, and eventually led a project to integrate some blockchain for transaction processing with significant saving on cost. And my advice to finance professionals looking to advance their careers is for them to stay curious and proactive, engage in learning opportunities, network with tech professionals, and keep an eye on industry trends. And positioning yourself at the intersection of finance and technology will not only make you an invaluable asset, but very recognized as well and competent in your area.
Very well said. Trending matters, networking with the others in the profession, both in finance and outside finance, especially in areas of technology, line and development. Like I always say, personal development is a personal responsibility. So this is something I will encourage finance professionals not to leave it to HR or your supervisor or your CEO. You have to own it. And talking about the growth of finance and their relationship within the organizations, I know finance work with quite a lot of functions within the organization. It could be working with HR, it could be working with operations, it could be working with sales. But from your own experience, what are the areas you think finance should improve upon generally in terms of becoming successful business partners? Because we say finance business partner, and I know from my conversation with HR department, they also have HR business partners. But from your own experience, what are some of those areas you believe the finance business partnering can improve upon to be able to achieve one corporate organizational goal?
Finance team should focus on, as I mentioned earlier, interpersonal skills. right? And enhancing strategic thinking using data analytic capabilities. I think it was during the HR CIPD awards, trying to get the best. And what I've realized is a company that said how they merge HR data and financial metrics to predict financial impact to employee turnover. I was deeply inspired by this. Imagine being able to focus turnover costs and develop strategies to mitigate them, saving money and then retaining top talent. And such collaboration between HR and finance are game changers and underscores the importance of aligning financial strategies with human resources goals. And again, I'm using another saying, what get measured, get managed. So in a nutshell, finance teams should focus on interpersonal skills, strategic thinking, and data capabilities, data analytic capabilities. It makes it seamless to work together between business partners and finance.
Indeed, a very important and a clear example there where you can use HR data combined with finance data to be able to make a prediction. And this is one of the key functions finance always want to do, knowing what is the probability or prediction certain number of people are going to leave. And even beyond that prediction, imagine looking at an overtime hour, comparing that one with the finance data. You will know which employees probably, what is the root cause of why we are having an overtime. And this cannot be done in silos. You have to take a number from the finance overtime calculations plus what HR have on the number of hours they have worked. But I think this is a very good example, and the strategic thinking is really, really key. Now, one of the issues I observe, and I've heard from other leaders, both in the Gambia and outside, is being a challenge is around the issue of mentoring. Many organizations have put in place mentoring programs, whether formally or informally. But the observation is most of the time, the young people, especially, are not coming forth to be mentored. And we cannot leave the problem like that because we know mentoring is very important. I personally have mentors since I was in high school up till today. Now, how do we encourage the young professionals to take mentoring as a serious learning program that can help them to achieve success in this rough journey of career management from a HR perspective and your own experience as well?
Thank you, Ibrahim. And this is something that I'm quite passionate about because it's mentoring that got me to where I am. One thing that I do know is that it's a two-way. The mentor and the mentee, both being prepared and giving it their all. Without that, it won't be successful. And it's very crucial. Mentoring is very crucial for young finance professionals or young professionals in general, as it bridges the gap between theoretical knowledge and real world experience. I remember I once mentored a young professional who was quite eager but unsure about his career path. Though through regular meetings, I shared my experiences, provided guidance, and helped him set realistic goals. Now sitting back and watching him grow into a competent and capable HR leader was incredibly rewarding. And again, this I must mention, mentoring programs succeed when both mentors and mentees are committed. When both mentors and mentees are committed. So that's very, very important.
Great. Like you said, mentoring helps a lot. From mentoring to coaching, it helps a lot in terms of breaching the knowledge, because mentoring, one of the benefits I saw, I was able to ask my mentors when I'm making some key decisions or strategic shift, get their opinion. Of course, at the end of the day, I decide since it has to do with my own career. But listen to them, they may have had similar situations in the past 10 years ago, 20 years ago, or they had it from someone else, and they are able to share that one with me, which helps me to make my own decision. So I think that's a very good point there. One problem I also see in our profession, finance, and if there is second our profession is IT, that we tend to sit behind a lot. At some organizations, they even call finance a back office. I don't know whether that's helping us or not, but with that back office mindset, finance people are just in front of their keyboards, get the report, send it out, they just go home. So they don't do the internal networking, the what I call the visibility in a way. And I know for sure this visibility can affect career growth. When you create a visibility for yourself, people knows the work you are doing that support you, because people cannot support you when they don't know you. Now, my question is, how do we bring this visibility to finance professionals? Because by nature, they are very quiet. They are always sitting at the back. How do we create that to convince them this is a good way of managing career by having a visible presence in the organization?
Personal branding is very, very important in the corporate world, not only for finance, but and nowadays we have a lot of tools to help us to build this personal brand. And also, it's good to be a numbers person, but also making people believe in the numbers that you are presenting, trusting you, and making you an ally is equal. You remember the finance professionals that I spoke about earlier on. That's the skill that they have. Getting out there, getting people to know them, always willing to help, and getting to build, not someone who just sits in the office and give out the numbers and come and present some very, excuse my language, boring, boring numbers. And, but again, it's quite important for finance professionals in the corporate world, manage office politics with strategic thinking and unwavering integrity. And I won't be embarrassed to be saying this a lot of times. I had a colleague who was excellent at this, building strong relationship by being genuinely interested in others, listening more, and maintaining transparency. Never compromise their values, even in difficult situations. And for young professionals, my advice is to focus on building authentic relationships based on mutual respect. Be reliable, communicate openly, and stay true to their principles. I love quotes, and I'll bring in one from, I think it's Albert Einstein, where it says that try not to be a person of success, but rather try to become a person of value. Yeah. Not to become a person of success, but try to become a person of value.
And this is very much aligned with an author called Cara Harris. Cara Harris, I don't know what's her role, but she used to be a managing director at Morgan Stanley. In one of our books, she talks about you need a performance currency. In other words, you have to perform first, which is where this value comes in. Then you have a relationship currency, which means you need to build the relationship. So in career, these two are very key, relationship and the performance. And talking about relationship, today, digitalization, social media era has helped us to build relationships beyond our office, beyond our countries or our continent. And one of such a professional platform is LinkedIn. I wanted to talk about how LinkedIn has helped you in developing your career. And what are some of those things one should be careful as you go into these professional social media sites?
Thank you again. And I think I'm having this conversation, this interview here because of LinkedIn. We stayed connected on LinkedIn, and most of the time I do try to get information out there that is inspiring and that also create my personal brand on there. And it's very important not to overshare, but also try to have a purpose of why you on LinkedIn, why you on social media. Be very consistent with what you provide. And it's very, very important. At times, there are people doing great things and keeping it quiet. That's fine. That's perfectly well. But if you have a strategy to be recognized, people need to know you. And how can people know you outside of your organization? It's through those social media platforms. Build your personal brand very well. Get to share. Even job offers come through LinkedIn. Headhunting through LinkedIn. I'm about to speak at an international conference in November. And all of these things, I was chosen because of some of the things that I've posted on LinkedIn. And this is not my first time. It will be my second time to speak at that platform. And when I was young, that was a platform that I've been yearning to get to. But I thought, well, someone in the Gambia, third world country, at an organization not recognized globally, now standing in front of HR professionals right up there, speaking about my experiences on well-being, on transformation, on leadership. I sometimes think myself and say, but it wouldn't have been possible without LinkedIn, without getting to build your personal brand. But again, you need to balance the two. You cannot just be someone that will share some information that can be questioned, or coming out and giving trade secrets, or giving out confidential information on LinkedIn. That's not what it's for. It is for. That's not the purpose of you being on there. And I think it's not only LinkedIn, but all other social media platforms as well.
You've said something about the use of social media. It comes with a lot of benefits. I think a clear example you spoke about is job offers comes to people through the social media, especially on LinkedIn, and I can second that. I have been offered several times of jobs across Africa, Middle East, which I was not looking for, but I saw that most of those things they wouldn't probably offer me if I was not having certain profiles, certain actions that I'm doing on LinkedIn, and consistently for that matter as well. So it's very important. And like you clearly said, what you share there is very, very important, that you don't go and share a business secret or confidential information on the LinkedIn. And talking about LinkedIn, you did spoke about CIPD. I know is a professional organization in finance, in engineering, any other profession do have their own professional organizations. But briefly, for the benefit of the young accountants or finance professionals, how important it is for you to join a professional body as a way of developing your career. Because some people just have a degree. Maybe you have a degree in accounting, you don't have any chartered, you don't have any intent to be part of a chartered body. But for you, you had your BA, like many other Gambians. Now you still decided to go and do a CIPD. Why do you think it's important for somebody to take such course of action?
Very important. Organizations nowadays and recruiters, when hiring finance professionals, ACCA will give you an edge above those without ACCA. In HR2, it's coming up. Having a CIPD, being recognized by CIPD, will give you an edge over non-CIPD HR professionals. And I'm saying this, even universities nowadays have HR programs aligned to CIPD, where once you graduate, you will also have an associate CIPD membership, right? And this is an added advantage to your profession. And the advantage that you get is you have industry trends. You get to be acquainted with whatever is going on within HR across the world, not just in Africa. And you get resources available for you. You get help whenever you need it. And it's not just professional help. You also get personal help as well, in terms of information on financial well-being, information of legal and then stuff like that. Quite resourceful information that helps you along your career. I was late to get into it because I thought, one, I was thinking of the cost. And then I also thought of what's the point? I'm already in HR. But in 2020 or 2018, there was an opportunity with my former organization, and they paid for it. And since then, I've not looked back because I know where it has taken me from to where it has brought me to. And I'm just going. And I think as of now, I am at the last stage of it, being a fellow of chartered fellow of CIPD. And then perhaps sometime it could be being a companion of a chartered companion of the CIPD, hopefully. That's the aspiration. But again, just emphasizing the need for professional development. It gives you some of the soft skills. It gives you some of the resources, and it gives you an edge over those that are not aligned to the profession.
Thank you. This is something we talked about a lot at the futurecfo.info platform to encourage young people to look for ways to develop themselves. And if you can do it through a professional chartered qualification, it becomes very helpful because whether it's engineering, it's in economics, in finance, HR, all of these professions do have their own professional development mechanisms which you can always benefit from. Now, we are almost wrapping up, but before we wrap up, Mr. Badjan, the question I have two questions. One is your closing remarks. But before I reach to that, we have this idea, like I said, you are the first person to come on this platform. It's a new platform that will do podcasts as well as provide online courses through our website. Now, we will invite another guest whom we do not know yet, but we would love for you to drop one question for that guest. Any question you want to ask that we can ask the next guest.
Thank you very much, Ibrahim, and thanks for having me. I'll be very interested to know about it, is the challenges that finance professionals face and how they effectively navigate these.
Yeah, thank you. We'll take note of that and prepare that for our next guest we're going to invite on this platform. So as we close this discussion, what are some of the closing thoughts you want to share with the young people, especially in finance and accounting?
Again, thank you for taking the time to listen to my journey and insights. Being an HR professional is not just about managing processes and policies. It's about understanding people, fostering growth, and creating a positive impact within the organization. And I hope my experiences and the stories that I've shared could inspire others to embrace their journey with passion and resilience. And I remember a quote from Nelson Mandela: "It seems impossible until it's done." You rewind 14 years back when I was starting this journey, and by now I would have said, no, I cannot be a chartered fellow. I cannot be someone who's led two leading banks in the country. I can't be someone that could stand in an international platform and speak about my experiences. I would have taken all that and thought, well, these are dreams. But yes, it came true. So it seems impossible until it's done. And my last message to all is keep striving, keep learning, and always believe in the value you bring to the table. Thank you.